Happy Sunday, folks, and welcome to another episode of Plan A Conversations. And we're coming to you on daylight savings time if you're in the United States, and it's Happy Mothering Day in the UK. Hope everyone is doing really well and enjoying their weekend. So much is going on in my life. I know so much is going on in your life. One thing that I have been getting a lot of in terms of messages and DMs, emails, is now that we have upgraded the podcast and it's a video podcast and not just audio, you're like, okay, Clay, I see you had a little bit of a transformation, going on in your physical fitness life. What was that like? How did you even get to where you are? And so, folks, listen, it's a couple of things, but my sort of secret sauce, as I have said to so many friends, and as you all know, when I love something or I experience something, I have to share it with any and everybody who would listen. And so today on the podcast for the first time, so incredibly excited, I am welcoming fitness entrepreneur and the person, he may not go with this, but I have to say who's responsible for my fitness transformation, Mike Simone. Welcome, Mike, to the podcast.
Clay, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for such a nice intro.
No, it's my pleasure. And before we get into the nuances of why I say that about you and all that, we are cooking up for folks, let's talk about you and why you got into this fitness business in the first place. Because you're not just a certified personal trainer. You're not just someone who has run or editorial for a large publishing company. You really are a fitness entrepreneur. So explain to our audience, firstly, what is it that you do?
Yeah, so I mean, at this point in my career, I help large brands that are in the fitness space with their content strategy. So that's everything from coming up with editorialized ideas on how to cover fitness, how to cover wellness, nutrition, to their social media, to their email newsletters. I pretty much kind of, really help guide them and how to message fitness to people.
Yeah. And how did you, let's just also walk back to even begin that journey. How did you get into fitness at all? Was this something you wanted to do as a kid? Like, how does this even happen for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think there's kind of like two parts to it.
Hmm.
I really got into fitness when I was about maybe 13, 14, 15 years old. My dad was into it, kind of growing up, and I wanted to get bigger and stronger for sports. And I also kind of dealt with a little bit of bullying growing up. So I wanted to like be bigger and stronger, be able to stand up for myself. So that's kind of where it
Where are you
started.
from, Mike?
I'm from New Jersey, central
New
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, it started around then. I got into it. I started lifting weights. My dad showed me some basic things. And then I remember sitting at a friend's house when I was, and this is almost where the business part of it starts to come in. I was looking on his coffee table and I saw like a men's fitness magazine and I was like, whoa. And I'm like flipping through it. I'm like, I want to work here when I get older. Like that's what I want to do. And, then I remember a couple years later when I was in college or whatever, I emailed the publisher of the magazine at the time and I was like, hey, can I intern there? I got an internship at the magazine. Did that, made some connections there. And then I actually finished school, didn't even like go back to like work for them. I actually went into ad sales after that. And this is where
Oh,
things I
wow.
think, this is the part of the story that I actually like to really tell is selling advertising. I didn't like it and I actually wasn't very good at it. But I was like, my passion is fitness and health and like, what can I do? And how can I like get into that? So I was like, I need to figure out a side hustle. And this is when social media first started bubbling, Facebook,
Hmm.
and I started putting out stuff on Facebook and blogs were getting popular. So I was like, okay, I got an idea. I'm like, how about I launch a blog? But how do I make this blog to where it's like not just Mike Simone's fitness? How do I make it more all encompassing? How
Mm.
do I learn from other people? Like, how do I learn from powerlifters and weightlifting experts and yogis? So I was like, oh, Human Fit Project. And then I launched Human Fit Project, which was this blog. And some of my other friends started, seeing what I was doing and they wanted to get in. And we just started building it. And we started building these networks of people
Mm.
that were contributing articles. And I was kind of working as like an editor, and I didn't know really what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I stayed in contact with people at Men's Fitness. A job opening had opened up, so I went for that, and then I ended up becoming an assistant editor there, and then an associate editor there, and then I ended up, taking over the whole digital operation and overseeing the social media, doing the video. And I had a great run with Men's
Mm.
Fitness for the length of the final stretch of the magazine um, business until
Mm-hmm.
they folded. And then now I'm where I'm at, kind of more in like a consulting advisory kind of role, doing content strategy while still operating HFP.
Yeah. What a robust story full of so many great twists and turns. I have so many questions for you. One thing that is definitely a constant on this podcast is guests and listeners always want to know, how have people turned something that could potentially have been a devastating blow to their lives into something a little bit more positive? And you just literally hit the nail right on the head about being bullied as a kid and using that as fuel to shift. What was that bullying like for you, and what in particular about it made you want to create something differently based on that experience?
Yeah, I haven't really, to be honest, I really haven't like reflected on it too much. It just,
Hmm.
yeah, I know, I never really even spoke too frankly about it. I'm kind of just speaking frankly with you about it, but I think it's
Hmm.
just, I just wanted to be able to stand up for myself. I just wanted to be stronger. I just
Mm.
didn't want people to mess with me. So that's really it. I mean, I wish I had kind of more that I could share on it. Um,
Yeah, no, no, and it fueled you for what it is that you would later on do with your work, right?
for sure. I mean, I think once I
Yeah.
started like really leaning into the working out, and I was looking at my body change. I'm like, whoa! Like
Mm.
you can like you put in the work. You get in the gym every day in and day out. You fine tune your diet. You learn these things. You learn everything, and you like really can like you can do miraculous things with your body. It's incredible, regardless of your age.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. Like if you really are
Hmm.
willing to put in the work. And then I think yes, I think that almost that negative thing that happened in my life ultimately kind
Mm.
of led to a whole bunch of positives.
Yeah, ultimately led to a whole bunch of positives. And let's talk a little bit about the curation and the creation of Human Fit Project. And so, listeners and people who are viewing this, I have been shouting to anybody who would listen about how wonderfully well curated and just creative and very step by step approach that the Human Fit Project has done for me in my life. And Mike, I have to say, I have I'm a huge fitness enthusiast in terms of connecting with so many different people and trying to figure out what they're doing. There is nobody out there who has content like yours. You can tell that you literally care about people, their wellness in all aspects, and the curation of it, the stories behind even how the fitness routine was started is just something that literally I just devour, and my friends devour too, because you're walking us through like this interpersonal and then the fitness components at the same time. So, what was the impetus for creating that project, and where were you hoping it would go?
Yeah, good question. I think so. The original inception of it, I think, goes back to that time at in advertising sales. I was sitting at my desk and I was like, I want to help make a difference in people's lives. I want to share what I've learned. I mean, I literally sat. I remember
Mm.
like printing out things about old school bodybuilders on how they trained. Like I read so
Mm.
much stuff. I researched like obnoxious amount to just absorb as much information as I could about this.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to share it. And then and all the people, like I try to like pick up things from the different people that I meet and that I interact with, and I'm like I want to learn as much as I can. Um, so that's that. I mean, that's kind of really how the whole HFP thing was kind of born. But I think with as far as like how I personally design programs,
Mhm.
I'm always I kind of when I design things, I'm like try to express how I'm feeling in my programs. Like I have programs like redemption
Mm-hmm.
or reconstruction, and you know that, like you've heard those things, and what is that emotion, like what's going on there emotionally? Because like when I came up with redemption, it was like, you know, I, I'm thinking in my mind, I want to, make up for the time that I lost. I want to maximize my potential.
Mm.
And I know that other people probably felt that the same. So I was trying my best to like articulate that, like we all have a redemption story. Like we all want redemption. We've
Mm-hmm.
all like wasted time. We've all, and then same thing with like reconstruction. It's like, maybe you've fallen off your workout,
Mm.
routine for a while. You've kind of let things go, like after your heydays in college or something, and you want to come back. So you're gonna reconstruct your body. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like how like I said, how I kind of create my programming. I like to have that emotional connection to the program. Like a program is more than just a program. It's more than just a list of
That's
exercises.
right.
You have those exercises in there, and then it's like that's almost going to like help guide the rest of your day. It's like I'm following this program right now. It's like
Mm.
consuming my whole life in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly like I tell people all the time, they're like, "Why do you work out so much?" Because it's therapy.
Yeah,
I feel better
totally.
about myself afterwards.
Yeah.
And they're like, "From lifting barbell." I said, "No, no, you don't understand the," and I keep going back to that word, the curation of it all, but like each workout, I can tell that you emotionally connected to understand what would need to be the next thing and the next thing.
Yep. Yeah. No, 100%. And and I don't give enough credit to a lot of the people that I've also worked with over the years too.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of knowledge. The fitness industry has, I mean, it's incredible how much it's like exploded over the last 5-10 years. I mean, there's so many people that specialize in so many different things. There's so many different, um,
Mhm.
approaches to this stuff. I've learned a lot from a lot of different people.
Yeah. And how would you define your purpose and call in the world? Would you do you ascribe to that understanding? What would you say is your north star, your reason for being?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have that answer. Um, I think that what I do know is that I honestly do care about people. Like I want people. I do want people to feel good. I want them to be happy.
Hmm.
I want them to move better. Um, I've gotten messages from people all across the world that have done some of my programs or read something from another expert that we featured on the site. And for somebody
Hmm.
to take like, you clearly, it's one thing to like see a message that was like 2 sentences long, like, and it's like, oh, thanks, I
Right.
did your program, this is great. But I've read things where I get teared up, like, so I honestly, in
Mm.
that, like, that feeling, what I do know, my North Star is, Mike, whatever you do in life is you have to help people.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah. Whatever you do in life, you have to help people.
Yeah,
I, yeah. Yeah.
somehow,
Hands
some
down.
way.
Like, yeah, and that definitely comes through again with the connection through your work. I know I can imagine listeners are probably wanting to even understand beyond the evolution of Human Fit Project. How in the world did you land the director opportunity at Men's Fitness? Like, was that a goal of yours? What was strategic planning? Like, did it fall in your lap? How did that happen?
I mean, first of all, I definitely believe in. There are powers of the universe that I believe in. I don't know what it
Hmm.
is, but there is. But if you put your mind to something, it's incredible what can happen. Like I said, I
Hmm.
mentioned it earlier when we were talking. I think it was I was 16 years old. I saw a magazine, a Men's Fitness magazine, on my friend. I'll never forget where I was at his house, and I saw this magazine on his coffee table, and I was like, I want to work there. I want to do something. I want to get built like this dude. and I want to work at a place like this. And you know what I
Mm.
did, man, is I'm like, well, what do I do? Well, first thing is try to get an internship. You're 16 years old, 17, however old you are in college. I don't even know. I'm terrible with dates and I'm rambling. I'm all fired up on
Mhm.
coffee right now. I was
That's
like,
good. This is good.
it's, I was like, I got to reach out to the publisher, intern there. And then I stayed in contact with the people that I met and just
Mm.
cultivated that relationship. I'm very grateful to have been able to meet great people there. And then, yeah, obviously, like kind of our paths went in different directions, but this is where I think the universe kind of comes in is it's like when I was then at that sales job and I started putting things on social media about fitness and I was like, oh, like just keep doing that. And I
Mm.
kept doing that. And then there was a job that opened up there and I had a connection that was still there. And I was like, hey, remember I interned for you guys back in a million years ago. Would you consider me for this? And they brought me in. I went through the whole interview process and I just spoke about how much I absolutely love fitness and how I built HFP. That's a good thing for young people coming up. It's like
Mhm.
I was very fortunate there. Like I had this side hustle. I was able to use that as like a big showpiece. I'm like, this is what I can do. Like here,
Mm.
look, here's what I can do, and I want to do it here. And the timing was
Mm.
just right um, that job at the time is like they had digital and like the website and social media, all that stuff was just bubbling, and there was no precedence. Like
Mhm.
you had this like big magazine, big brand, and then no real digital. So I had like so much opportunity to like help them grow it. Um,
Mhm.
and I just worked, man. I just worked hard, like every day. Like I commuted into the city, and then I would come home, and then I kept, and then I worked at night, and like I just that's really it. I just worked and just thought about
Yeah.
what's the best thing for the brand, what's the best way to help people,
Mhm.
and when you create good content because your intention is right, people see that,
Preach.
and then you have
Mhm.
then you have good feedback, and then all the executive guys see like, oh, he's creating good content, and people like it, and
Yeah.
we're growing, and then advertisers get on board, and then the business is working, and I guess that's how it works. I don't know. It just
Yeah. Oh, this is so good stuff. One of the key things you just said that I think a lot of people have a hard time ingesting and digesting is timing. What do you say to people who feel that their time has either passed them by or they don't feel like they're in alignment with time and like they're working so hard and they're making the connections and positioning themselves, but it just seems like their time is passing them by in order to do, some great things that they really want.
that's a good question too, and I've definitely felt that way. And sometimes like I think everything really does. It sounds so cliche, but like everything does work out eventually. It's just like how long that eventually takes. Like sometimes it'll
Mm.
be like, oh, you can bounce back from something in 3 months. Sometimes it might take a couple years. Like I think that a friend of mine gave me a book. Oh, I can't remember the name of the book. This is terrible because I took something great away from it. I feel horrible right now. Oh, Today Matters.
It's all good.
That was the name of the book,
Okay.
and I thought I took something away from it. I forget what it was, but it was like I'm starting to think what I started to do was I created like this daily discipline to where like anytime I had like these negative thoughts, I like had to spin it and like into a positive, and then but I had this daily discipline project. I published it on Human Fit Project, but every
Hmm.
morning I woke up, I had this like bulleted list of things, and it was like I think it was a series of sayings, like if I feel like I was done wronged, like I think about the positive of it, or there was always.
Hmm.
So I think there's you have to the positive mindset. Yeah, no matter what, like it's so hard and it's so easy to say. You got to have a positive mindset or positive outlook, but you have to
Right.
fight to like have it, because that's the only way you'll get back to where you want to be, or you'll get to where you want to be, is you have to have the positive outlet, even or the outlook, even if things are not looking so great at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And one thing that I know a lot of people are probably struggling or wrestling with is sort of maybe an example that you have experienced. I'm thinking about, I found you on the internet through Human Fit Project. That was something that sort of was my biblical testament to fitness, if you will, for all things wellness. And then I found later out on that you were the fitness director at Men's Fitness Magazine. How have you been able to process and rebound after that magazine went under to now, you had this dream job from my own interpretation from the outside that it's no longer there. Like, how did you process that? And what would you say to other people who are struggling to let go of something that might have been taken away from them?
Yeah, Clay, you've got great questions. That was a tough one. Like I said, I mean, that was I had this
Mm,
for that job with me. Was, like I said, it goes back to being 16 years old and like I want to
right.
be here, and I kind of almost had to like build it myself to some extent. So it was tough to swallow when things kind of closed up, but all
Mm,
good things come to an end, and that's just how it works. And I think that I just continued to do what I do at HFP, continue
mhm,
to produce content, you know, that I think is bringing value to people, and then just try to
mhm.
figure out what's next. Like who could I work with next? And like I said, everything works out. You figure it out. You just keep moving forward. You
Yeah.
can't sit around and be like, oh man, like you got to just kind of, who can I reach out to? Who can I talk to? Who could I work with? And things bubbled up, and before you know it, like I was working with a bunch of different brands, and we're where we are now.
Mhm. Yeah. And so then being this ferocious learner, lifelong learner in life, it seems to be a really great impetus for you to reshuffle. But do you think it helped that you knew who you were beforehand, before this happened? Like, was that a marking point to help you move forward?
I don't know.
Okay. No, that's
I
the
don't
honest
know.
question. Yeah, honest response. Yeah.
Um,
Because I asked that, Mike, because I feel like so many people, we get into these external, career opportunities, these relationships and things like that. And when they end up folding or something happens that we didn't expect, many people don't know who they are within themselves in order to say, okay, I can pick up the pieces and be able to accept that change happens and then move on, because there's so much attachment to this job, to this person, to this entity. You get what I'm saying?
100%. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
think that you kind of gave maybe a little bit more, help me kind of see this a little bit more. I mean, I think that,
Mhm.
I built myself physically to be tough. I want to be mentally tough.
Mm,
So it's like,
mhm.
I'll figure it out. Like, it's just like kind of have that like
Right.
disciplined, gritty, like it's all good. Like we bounce back, we figure it out.
Yeah.
Like you just pound through it, figure it out.
Right. Yeah. No, no, I love that. Absolutely love that. And this goes into the mental fitness part of the work that you do. There are so many people who say, I don't have the discipline to, stick to a meal plan, to stick to a fitness routine. Walk us through the importance of mental fitness, and how has that not only inspired your life, but also your clients and your readers' lives?
Yeah, this is like, so I think that this like mental fitness, this has been talked about in the fitness industry. I mean, I think maybe it's been a part of. Sorry, but there's some pings on my phone here, man. I don't know why I
Yeah,
turned it
all
off.
good.
Um, Sorry to everybody listening. Um, yeah, the mental fitness stuff is tough. Like, I feel like I've talked to other fitness experts and stuff, and it's it really is like it is a mental thing. Like you have to like,
Mm.
here's let me a lot of people talk about, you have to have your why, right? Like, why am I working out? Like, am I doing it for my kids? Am I doing it for, I want to lose weight? But I feel like you have to challenge your why, like push it another layer.
Mm.
Like, why do I want to lose weight? Well, I want to lose weight because I need to be healthier, because I need to be around for my kids, because like, see if there's extra, like, you really, really gotta like want, when it comes to fitness, you have to want it, whatever it is that you want.
Mm.
It's got to be like, I don't know, that's kind of how it is for me. Like, I feel like you gotta just be so focused, and I don't know that maybe I don't know.
It's like a commitment is what I'm hearing you say, and being able to sort of envision what it is that you want for yourself and setting the parameters to commit to that.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
for yourself,
yeah, I wish I had, I wish I had this thought through a little bit more. This is a really good question, and I'm glad you asked it. Um, just looking out right now.
yeah, no, 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 and the reason I say that too is because so many people have told me, oh, it's great for you to have gone on this fitness journey. You don't have children. You're not running to PTA. You're not doing all of these other things that us working moms and dads really, have to do. And and I don't have children, but I do feel that there is a level of some type of mental commitment that has to take place
Yeah.
for one to get to their goals. Because for me, Mike, before looking at your projects, nothing would ever stick for me. It was never, yeah, go ahead.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think for most people, it's tough. I mean, because you know what, man, because you have to have this like strong mental commitment to it, because it's not easy to get up every day and to force your body into
Hmm.
uncomfortable situations. Like, I mean, sure, you like, I
Yeah.
love fitness. Like, I'm very grateful to like actually love the fact that I love pushing my body to the point to where I could barely breathe and my muscles are burning, and like, I'm glad that I like really like that. And I think that I honestly do think this, that I think if everybody commits to like sacrificing, or like just commits to a few months, they'll get more. Your like motivation will grow onto itself. Like, that's the interesting thing
Yeah.
about fitness. It's like you have to get over this hump to where like you don't want to do it,
Mm.
and then eventually you'll start to enjoy it, because you'll start to see results, and then it compounds onto one another, or compounds onto itself. um but yeah, initially, like, you have to just be like, I'm just gonna do this. I don't know. Too many things I like wrote. I wrote notes like on a notepad, like, I'm gonna do this. You gotta have a plan, like, write everything
Yeah.
out.
All those components. And so I say this to listeners and viewers all the time, and even clients. For me, when I started this whole journey and being this entrepreneur, I was trying so many different mechanisms for self care, for
Mm-hmm.
like meditation, anything I could wrap my hands on that
Mm-hmm.
would give me a sense of ease. Because I mean, I'm sure, as you know, it's not the easiest thing building out a company, especially on your own. And when I started work, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. It was just like something to do because I wanted to physically look a certain way.
Yeah.
But after those first, I think the first 2 weeks, after I was working out, and I said, I feel a little bit differently about my work after. And I said, I wonder what this is. And that next day, I felt a little bit better. And like I would always go into working out with a problem. And Mike, not only did I feel much better physically, but I would have an answer to every single problem I face after working out. It was almost like divine intervention,
Yeah.
that kind of just came. And so that's how I sort of equate this therapy, if you will, aspects to physical fitness.
Do you think so? Like, I think there's a strong connection with. I don't know. Maybe I could be completely wrong, but if you like can commit to like a fitness program, or like you really like kind of take charge of like your physical health, like it really does like help other aspects of your life. I think you just basically said that, right? Like you do your fitness program and then like you can solve problems. Like yeah, I mean, if
It's
you can transform your body, you can do anything
yeah,
else.
dude, and that's exactly how I feel. I even have strategy sessions in my mind going into a workout. I put on my Human Fit Project workout, whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
right now, I'm doing reconstruction.
All right.
And I say to myself, all right, by the time that I'm done here, I want to have solved this problem with, this corporate speaking engagement, with
Mhm.
this, television pitching opportunity that I'm doing. Like, what is it that I can commit to? And when I'm done with that, 9 times out of 10 an answer is given to me, and I tell people it just seems like it's like the alchemist from the book Paulo Coelho, if you will. At the end, it just seems like you have spun this problem into gold, all because of this discipline, this push and pull workout. Is like pushing and pulling your soul and your mental capacity to another level, to be open to receive.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It makes you. Yeah.
You say it makes you what?
No, I mean, yeah, I just if you can like, like I said, if you could really commit to a program and like you're like, I'm gonna do this, like you have your marching orders for the week and like you can follow through on that. Like then when you go into the office or wherever it is you work, like you kind of apply that same like discipline, and I don't know, it just yeah. But as
It's it's
far
it's just it's just contagious.
but as far
Go
as
ahead.
like the actual like I don't know, man. Like after a workout, I feel so good. Like there's so much going on in your body, like chemically after a workout. Like that's
Mhm.
probably when my best creative ideas come out, and that's probably when I'm like most like emotionally charged and like fired up on like an idea or something. Like I'm stuck with a problem. Yeah, I think yeah, that's it. You just work it out. You literally work out a problem.
There we go.
There we go.
That's it. Yeah, yeah, totally. And so, Mike, another question I think a lot of people are probably having, who knows your product or who will know your product after this podcast, with Human Fit Project. You have worked with some of the most incredible, like, intelligent people in the fitness industry. How do we forge and create strategic partnerships that not only supports, our goals, but also the other person's goals, but the larger extent of the work that we're trying to create in the world? How important are relationships to, creatively getting your work out there?
Yeah, I mean, you can't get anything. Sure, you can. There's a lot you can do by yourself, but um,
Hmm.
it's a whole lot easier when you have people working with you. And the only way to like, I guess, really build quality relationships with people is, look at it as it's a dance and it's a two-way street, and how do you make it mutually beneficial and like uh, clear understanding on like what you're both trying to accomplish, trying to find people that like align with the way that you
Mm.
think, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know, my whole thing is I just try my best to be like a good person, and that's really what I try to do going into any relationship with people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if that's
striving
I
to
don't know if
be
that's a
a
good
good
answer,
person.
but
No, it's an honest answer, and I think that is, I think we get so wrapped up into the process of connecting with other people that we don't tend to think that we have an asset of just being striving to be a good, wholesome person, a good person that is putting out into the world what it is that we want to, also receive from other people, and being able to level the playing field with that is a superpower within itself, and it allows really great people to come together and to create
Yeah.
some awesome things for the world. And I don't think that we think about that enough, when we're trying to get ahead. A lot of times people are just thinking, what can I get out of this?
Right. Yeah. No, that's 100% true. I mean, it's unfortunate that that's the truth. I'm glad you kind of mentioned that too, because like I feel like I almost give like younger people like a pass sometimes with that, because it's like I don't know.
Mm.
I feel like maybe I was like a super ambitious type when I was a lot younger, and you don't necessarily think like, oh, well, what is this person getting out of the deal? Um, but yeah, no, you're right. I think that's true. I think it is a lot of me. What can I get? And it should be, yeah, like I said, two-way street. Like you said, two-way
Yeah,
street.
yeah, absolutely. And just in terms of now, the content creation you're doing as a fitness entrepreneur, what are some of your exciting projects that you're working on, and what, powers you up through your days of, shelling out this incredible work that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. Um I think I mentioned it earlier. I see I what fires me up, what gets me most excited is that I really am grateful to be able to kind of work creating content, creating fitness and wellness content, and working with fitness and
Mm.
wellness companies and brands. Um, I've worked with a lot of really big brands, and continue to do so. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then I'm trying to figure out kind of what am I going to do with HFP now? Like that's what's the next thing? Where do we take this? What do we do? So that's kind of my
Hmm.
mind's always
Hmm.
racing. I'm a very like I hate to admit it,
Same.
but I'm a very like all over the place kind of guy. Like people are listening to this
Same.
podcast are gonna be like, "What is this dude talking about?" I don't know. I don't know.
No, no, it's flowing, promise. But it's the exact same way that I think it is. I always tell people all the time, like I present as a very calm person, but my mind is a storm,
Oh god.
and it is a tsunami, it's a tornado, and I feel like even though within the storm, everything is sectioned off in a way in which it makes sense, for me, and it maybe I guess that makes sense because in light of what I do in the world and helping people figure out not only their purpose and calling in the world, but how to actually make it practical in their lives, is I take their storm and I make it calm, for them and helping them figure out. So it maybe just makes sense how it's processing
I
through me.
mean, that sounds like a good skill to have. You can turn people's storms into calm, Clay. You should be a very
Yeah.
rich man.
Listen, I might have to trademark you. Take that, trademark you on that. And so, just in maybe our last closing time, like I really would love to do this thing that I call Plan A to Plan A.
Uh-huh.
And what it is just completing the end of a sentence, end of a thought with what you feel is lacking or needing in the world.
Ooh.
And so, all good, I promise. And so,
I'm now like,
um,
should I have not had that coffee this morning, or should I have had more coffee?
no, no, it's so simple.
I'm kidding.
So from where you sit, and the work that you do and who you are, what would you say to the following? The world needs more of.
We just talked about it. Probably selfless people.
Mm,
Is that
yeah,
bad?
no,
I don't know.
it's one of those gut punches of sheer honesty. Selfless people. The world needs more selfless people. Hmm.
Oh wait,
I am
less selfless people. Or wait, more.
less. Sorry, less. That was me. Yeah,
No, we
there we
need
go.
more selfless people. Less
Yeah,
selfless people,
we
more
need more
selfless
selfless
people.
people,
Correct.
people who are not just after their own interests.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I am most happiest when.
Oh, I know I did something that made somebody else happy.
Mm, okay, the inverse of that. I want to be remembered for.
Um, just being a good person.
Just being a good person. Uh huh. Okay. And last but not least, with plan A to plan A, um, I love offering support by.
I love offering support by. Ooh, I love offering support by and doing my best to contribute something of value.
Wow. That takes me back to a couple of weeks ago or a month ago when Cicely Tyson transitioned. She died. And she just did an interview with Gayle King on CBS this morning, and it was like 2 weeks before. And she asked her, "What do you want to be, known for? Like, what is it that you want someone to say?" And she goes, "That I did my best.
Yeah, I mean, that's great.
That I, wow, that
Can I
I
steal
did
that
my
one?
best." Yeah, there, that's essentially what it is that you're saying. So, Mike, listen, like I have to say to you, and I can't say this enough to the listeners out there. I'm indebted,
Oh, come
to
on.
this guy. No, no, no. I really am. Like, I figured out what was that interpersonal thing within myself that could not allow me, to sort of drop the pounds to get to the fitness goals that I wanted for myself, that interpersonal healing that I need to take care of. And I say that's closing the gap between your past and your present is a lot of work that I do. But Mike, you literally took that goal and allowed me to reflect my value inwardly, outwardly in that physical component. And again, I cannot tell anyone enough. Human Fit Project and this brother right here has changed my life drastically. And it's so much so I just constantly I'm looking on the site. Okay, what do I want my body to do next? That's where I'm going to go. And then also, what is the emotion that I'm experiencing? Because there's stories that Mike has before each of the workout sequences that are just fuel to the fire. And just literally, I can't thank you enough, brother, for being my personal coach in my mind
No,
through all this.
I'm so glad that you took stuff away from that. I appreciate you saying such nice things. Like I said, anybody that says that I was able to give them something like that, it like jerks me up. It chokes me up.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
No, and before we let the folks go, you and I are cooking up some interesting things together. So tell our audience what that is and what are your thoughts behind it?
Yeah. So, what are we doing, Clay? So, I I think I'll say, I want you to share your perspective of it, but from my
Yeah.
perspective, I've always had, and we touched on it a bit, this mental fitness section on HFP, and I kind of haven't really. I think maybe even your viewers listening before were probably like, oh, like he didn't. I don't even. What was he even talking about with that mental fitness? Like, because I kind of like I haven't been able to kind of crack that code. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think what we've come up with is we're gonna co-produce like a short a small editorial package of like 3 or 4 pieces that really harness the power of the mind. So I think we've come up with 4 great story ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be our expert. um, yeah, we're gonna put those out there, and sometime in the spring we were looking for, I know we were aiming for early April. and put them in that channel, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I know it's going to be well received. I'm excited for it. I think it's great content. I'm glad we haven't,
Yeah.
we haven't really done that stuff before. I don't think we've done it well, and I'm glad we're going to get to work with you on it.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that too, and it's really interesting, Mike. I was talking to another a fitness director from on the editorial side, and I remember pitching some of these ideas earlier, and he says it's too salient. Like the reader won't understand what you're talking about. It's
Mm,
not anything that we want to. Yeah, I don't think it's too risky of an area to go.
mm,
And I was hitting back with, well, if this is my experience and I'm not, in the fitness world, to begin with, I'm just a wellness coach doing the interpersonal stuff, but I've seen myself go through this process and I walked other clients through this, internal, healing interpersonal kind of conflicts that are happening within, and then they're able to let go of this physical weight. I think there's a there. And so
yeah.
this whole idea of, connecting with you and your work is so incredibly exciting.
Yeah, well, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna see where it goes.
Yeah. All right. So listen, Mike, where can we learn more about you in particular, Mike Simone, and of course, where can we learn more about your work?
Humanfitproject.com is definitely where all the hard fitness content is, all the workouts. Or if you want to learn more about me and kind of like my path, you can just go to michaeldsimone.com. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. A little quiet right now, but I'm on all the social channels. That's the best place, I would say.
Yeah. All right, listeners, listen, you've heard it here. I've been talking about this guy forever and ever in the podcast from seasons past. Please check out Mike and all that he's doing. If you are trying to literally get started or jumpstart your physical fitness as well as the nutrition aspects, all of it, he has everything in one centralized place. And of course, I'll have all of Mike's information at the base of this podcast. Again, you can learn more about me by visiting clayswilliams.com. And I'm on all of your favorite social media by the handle of @PlanA with Clay. That's at Plan A with Clay, folks. Remember that Clay is with a K. Thanks for listening. I look forward to seeing you in our very next episode of Plan A Conversations. Peace.